Cool.
Okay. Ready?
Ready.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me.
Welcome to First Reaction Fan Reaction. Woo. I'm really tired. I'm your host, Dara Whitman, and here with me is my co-host,
Cailin.
Okay, you're gonna do that. Anyway, we're still watching Firefly. We're actually almost done Firefly.
Yeah.
We're in the double digits now for episodes.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, this episode we will be breaking down episode 10, War Stories, and episode 11, Trash.
Oh.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, I was, like, consider, like, War Stories to be, like, the quintessential, like, Joss Whedon episode, but this episode wasn't actually written by Joss Whedon.
Oh, really?
It's a woman named Cheryl Kane.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize. I thought it was written by Joss Whedon just because, like most Joss Whedon episodes, like, when I think about it, they, like, have the idea of, like, there's some comedy, there's some drama, there's some, like, deeper things going on,
right.
There's some philosophizing, there's some action. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that I didn't write this episode, but, like, this is, I think, I'm, like, rewatching and I'm like, I think it's probably the best episode.
I thought it was a great episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You waking up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go in the breakdown. Yeah. So anyway, this is kind of like right after Ariel, basically. They're still discussing stuff that went on in that episode. Mm-hmm. Stuff that's going on with the river, basically, and Simon trying to figure out, like, how to help her out. And it's helping a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we get into the philosophizing of this episode. And it's this work of Shan Yu. Is that what his name was?
Shan Yu. Have you ever heard of the poet Shan Yu?
Warrior poet, as it is here.
A warrior poet.
And his idea, basically, and this is, like, kind of the main thing of the A-plot for this episode, is that you can, like, live with a person for several years.
Right.
But then once you start torturing them, that's when you truly get to know them. Mm-hmm. And the book actually brings that up. Kind of randomly. I guess not. I was about to say randomly, but not really randomly, because there's a point basically saying, like, is this what they did to River just to get to know her? And Simon says, like, no, I think they had a purpose.
Right.
So I was about to say, like, at first, like, I was thinking, like, no, that, like, he just brought that up. And then I'm like, oh, no, wait, there was a point to it. Mm-hmm. So that's where the whole philosophizing comes in. Yeah. Anyway, as I said last episode, these two episodes are going to have some people that we've seen before. Mm-hmm. And this episode, we got Niska back.
Yeah, I was really surprised, actually, because you told me that there were people who were going to come back. So I was trying to think, and that was not one of the characters I was expecting to come back. Yeah. But, like, he seemed, I don't know, like, he in his first appearance, he didn't really seem like, he just seemed more like a one-off character. I wasn't really expecting to see multiple appearances.
I guess I wasn't thinking about it then, but think about it, like, they said, like, if you, like, double-cross him, you're screwed. Mm. And also, like, he didn't die in the last episode that he was in.
Right.
Anyway, so he's a torturing, focusing on some...
Yeah, he
basically
torturing people.
And living the Shan Yu thing, basically. Like, he wants to get to know this person. And they notice that there is a Firefly class ship, which, you know, he wants some revenge.
Yeah.
Anyway... Back on the ship, it's all playful, basically, with Kaylee and River. And they're playing with, like, an apple, and Nara's having a conversation with Malcolm, basically saying, I have a client coming on. They are a councilwoman. Mm-hmm. I was a spoiler thing.
Yeah. Like, you're trying to keep it gender ambiguous, like, they are a councilwoman.
Anyway, we can cut that out if you want. I don't really care. It's a council person.
Right. Okay.
Person on a council. And Nara's basically saying... Like, they're going to go on this ship. And Mal's just like, if anybody comes on my ship, I just want to meet them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, and you find out that Jane, feeling bad for what he did, used some of his money to just buy a whole bushel of apples.
That's a good use of money. Actually, I was watching this episode, now I really want an apple. Actually. Like, apples, God, I feel like apples are such, like, a weirdly overused, like, symbolic device.
I guess, I mean, apples aren't really one of my favorite. I'd rather have, like, grapefruit or, like, oranges, but, like...
I'm an apple person.
I think it was just...
I think I have some upstairs.
Well, they had a point, basically, in the first war story, when Zoe tells the story, basically, like, everybody else just eats the apple, but Zoe and Mal cut it, basically, because of a story involving, during the war, the Allies brought them some apples, and there were little grenades in them.
Yeah.
And they blew up some people.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No. And I think, and then Wash comes in and he's basically, they're still like getting the money from the aerial dispute kind of thing. And basically Wash like whispers like, oh, we could have just come with my idea. His idea was basically to cut out the middleman and give it directly to doctors.
Right.
And he whispers it to Zoe. Basically, he had the idea to give it to the middleman.
Right.
And Zoe basically said to him that she didn't run it by Mal. She just like forgot. But then Mal basically says like, actually, no, that really wasn't a great idea. So Wash gets upset. And I guess like reasonably so.
Yeah.
And then later on, they have a bit of a tiff.
Yeah. They have a couples dispute.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a big thing. And like you can see like Wash is a bit jealous of Mal.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely.
I think, I was wondering, like, do you, like, I mean, I think we can both agree there is like clearly no romantic and or sexual tension between Mal and Zoe.
Right.
Like 100%.
Yes.
They are just friends.
Yes.
But like, did it ever seem like before like Wash thought that? I think it just came up now.
It definitely wasn't something I was paying attention to. So I don't think, I mean, you can see
why somebody would be jealous.
Yeah. Like you can like, I don't think his claims are completely like unfounded in a sense, but I'm not sure if that was something I noticed before.
Yeah. And I mean, I think Zoe brings it up that like, and like, I think his thing is that like, she always goes with the captain. And the kind of thing is like, does she always go with the captain just because like that's what she's used to, or like because she tends to agree with the captain?
Right.
Which I think it's kind of both. Like she does, like they do think a lot. They do think alike, but like also like she's just so used to it by this point.
Right.
Like she's been doing it for years.
There's a history. Yeah.
Like yeah, there's a history. Yeah, and we get a little tiny scene with Simon and River. Just like River's a bit upset.
Yeah.
Because she's not normal. And it's a nice little moment. It's cute. And meanwhile, we get to the official B plot, I would say, which is Inara's the council person comes onto the ship.
Yeah.
And twist, because we didn't actually reveal this earlier, it's a lady.
It's a lady.
Which like I'm not sure if they're doing that just for like, I guess like 2002, like you'd use lesbianism as like funny.
That's actually a really good point. Like, was it used for a level of like just to be like, it's a twist, or like more, is it funny, or is it just like, we're trying to be weirdly progressive?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like the bits like with like everybody on the crew, especially Jane, like that was taken as comedy.
Yes.
Especially with Jane, because that was hilarious. But then when they're together, it's like nice. It's like sensual. Sensual.
Yes.
Sorry, I kept
all good
missing that bit. Anyway, but like it was like, and you could tell that like they definitely like liked each other.
Yeah.
And they respected each other. So like it did seem like a normal thing that.
Yeah.
Like that was, so I think like with the crew and again, thinking about it, that doesn't surprise me the way Jane reacted. So I think it makes sense. And like even like Book didn't really do anything really with it. Mal was kind of like, all right.
It was more like a, oh ho ho.
And then Kaylee was just like, Kaylee was aware that like she had, that Inara had women like clients, but it wasn't many. Anyway, back to the A plot.
Right.
Wash kind of screwed up with, not screwed up, but like he intentionally did this, messed with the shuttle piloting thing, because he wanted to go with Mal because of the tiff, because basically he wanted a war story.
Right.
Even though it wasn't a big one. And he was still kind of upset.
Yeah.
And Zoe's just like, fine. Whatever. She was pretty upset.
Yeah.
Like, go, this is not going to be a big deal. Turns out, kind of a big deal. Well, okay, the actual part of then giving the medicine to like the people who they knew.
Yeah.
That wasn't a big deal.
Right.
But then Niska's crew comes in. They shoot the other people and they take Wash and Mal.
Yep, they take them
onto the ship.
Yes.
And they are tied up and blindfolded, walking around. And Wash, having never been in a situation like this, is freaking out.
He's rambling. That's a very similar way.
Meanwhile, Mal, who has been in this situation a bunch of times, is just like doing what he has to do.
Yeah.
Which I think brings up the good point, basically, like, of the way the episode progresses and the way everybody like performs, is that like Wash has clearly never been in anything like this, and Mal has. So like, the way that works. Mm-hmm. And they're arguing. And Wash is like, she's my wife, and you put her in these situations. Like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I love the bit where it's like she promised to like love and honor and obey me. And then Mal's like, wait, you promised to obey? No, of course not. Because, it's Zoe. Of course she wouldn't.
Right.
Anyway. And then we learned a twist that while Zoe did usually go with most of Mal's orders, the one she didn't go with was she wanted to marry Wash.
Aw. It's cute.
And then I love the bit where like Niska's like revealed to Mal. He's just like, oh, fuck. And Wash is like, what?
I'm like, welp, it's this guy.
Yeah, and then we get back on the ship. Zoe's kind of like, all right, something went wrong. Mm-hmm. And then they figure out basically what went wrong.
Yeah.
And all that shebang. Mm-hmm. And we're back on Niska's ship, and Mal and Wash are being a bit tortured.
Yeah, they're kind of being very tortured.
Yeah, and like I guess like I said, like philosophizing and like going deeper into the story.
Yeah,
like you can really tell like with the way everything's going. Like Wash is like clearly like he probably would have died because like you said, his body's never been through this before, and he's clearly like going out of it and stuff.
Right.
And Mal's just like staying as strong as possible as he can, and just like not dealing with it.
Yeah,
because like he knows he has to keep Wash like going, or else like he's gonna die. Meanwhile, Mal could probably handle this, and getting him angrier and angrier, which was the funny bit considering like they're getting tortured and they're having this argument.
But it's in the middle of being tortured. I thought that was there's something I really liked about that scene. Actually, I'm not sure what it was.
Probably because like it was so dark. Yeah, but there was still a good amount of comedy.
Yeah, it was like a very dark kind of,
and like the fact that like Wash was just kind of, and like basically the way that Mal gets Wash really mad, saying like, all right, I'll sleep with Zoe. I like that whole thing, and like he's really trying to keep calm. And then meanwhile the crew gets like the rest of the money that they have together, and Zoe goes on the ship basically saying like, well, we're gonna make a deal. That's what we're gonna do. So then she gets on the ship, she's unarmed. And I love this bit because like Wash just like sees her, and he's just like thinking that she got captured. Yeah, and she's just like, no, run. And I'm like, oh, baby. I love that. Like, I don't know. It's just like I love the relationship because they are like so different, but like there's like that love. Yeah. And and Ellen too, it just makes you cry. Anyway, so then she gives him the money, and it's like this is this good money, but not enough for two. I can't do that. Oh, God. It's only enough for one. Yeah. And, like, she's thinking, like, and you think, like, oh, it's going to go on for a few minutes, like, for her deciding. It's like, nope. I'm going to get Wash. And we're going to do this. So then they do that, and then she grabs him, and they go. And then Niska's like, oh, no, like, this is a bit too much. Like, maybe you need a bit of a refund. And just gets the guy, cuts part of Mal's ears off.
Cuts part of his ear off.
And he's like, at that point, like, he stops, like, I wouldn't say faking it, but, like, I guess, like, faking that he wasn't, like, in so much pain. Right. He's like, he's done. Yeah. And he just screams. And then they go and you hear more screaming, and it's... So, and this is a big question that a lot of people I know have with this episode, basically saying, did Zoe save Wash because that's her husband, or because she knew that Mal could handle this way better than Wash? So that's, and like a lot of people have that argument. So like, I'll ask you, what do you think?
I thought, that's such a good question. That's a really good.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, because I was thinking the same thing watching the episode. I would go with, because she seems like I don't know, she probably, I'm going to say it's a combination of both probably, right?
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely a factor of it was definitely that she knew Mal could handle it better than Wash could.
Yeah, like I've always like thought about this because I heard in the commentary like Alan Shear basically says that same question, like why, like is that the reason? I think the truth of the matter is like if like not the roles reversed, but like if Zoe was married to Wash and like Wash was the captain and they both have been in those situations before and both could handle it, and Mal was kind of like the pilot and could not handle that situation, I think she would have saved Mal in that situation, and Wash would have been like, okay, like that makes perfect sense, right? So like I think it was this kind of like, or even if she was like married to Mal, and it was like, I mean, obviously like scenario.
Right.
If she was married to Mal and he was the captain and Wash was the pilot, and it was the same thing where like, I think she probably would say Wash because, and then like nobody would have been upset.
Right.
And basically, what was it? Like Wash basically says like, oh, like, I think he said like Mal was crazy that like he could handle that, or like that he was like, because Wash even realizes like he was not, like Mal was not okay. He was just like faking it to save me.
Yeah.
And then like Wash is really worried Mal's gonna die, and so he's like, no, he's gonna make it last. And then Wash has this like, I'm a badass now.
Yeah.
Moment is like, bastard ain't gonna get days. Let's do this. And I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
Badass Wash.
Yeah. That was good.
And then they get back, and I like the bit because like basically they wrap up Mal's ear in like a little tissue, and Zoe just puts it. It's good she didn't put it like right in her shirt. She put it in her vest.
Yeah.
Which is good.
She just kind of shoves it in there.
Well, I mean, and she has like such a stoic face.
Yeah. Oh my god, she's such a badass.
Is she like your favorite female character? You don't know.
Oh, she's my favorite female character, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, going off to her, I think my favorite is Cailin, just because I feel like I relate to her a lot more.
Yeah.
But I love Zoe too. Anyway. So then the crew's all like, oh, we didn't get Mal back, we just got Wash, and Zoe and Wash are basically planning on going in just like all out war. We got the guns. Let's do this. And Jane's kind of like, you guys, this is suicide. But then the rest of the crew, like Simon and Cailin and Book and Jane eventually with Vera comes in. And they're all like, okay, we're going to do this. And I love the line with Book. Basically like, Preacher, I'm pretty sure the Bible has some stuff to say about killing people. It does, but it says nothing about kneecaps.
I love Book.
Jane brings Vera and we're going. And they kill their, what was like a motorbike thing? Not motorbike, but like four-wheeler, whatever.
Right.
Because they use it as like a bomb. They get in there. They shoot some people. One guy was like on fire. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Meanwhile, Mal is still getting tortured. He dies, actually.
Yeah, he actually
Well, they
dies.
have like this thing that they put like right on his chest. And it was like...
It's like a...
And I'm just like, my baby. And he dies, and they bring him back to life. Because like Niska says, he keeps wanting to go torturing.
Yeah.
And then I love the bit because like basically like Mal kind of figures out like, oh, the crew's on board. And they're like shooting away.
Yeah.
And then Mal kind of gets up, punches some people, and like in like a zombie way, it's like, do you want to see the real me? And I'm like, dang.
Hot dang.
Well, that went well. Anyway, so then they keep shooting. Book gets a lot of kneecaps.
He does.
Simon gets nothing.
No.
But he's never shot
This
before.
child.
Cailin, on the other hand, kind of freaks out.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like,
at least Simon, like, looks like he knows what he's doing. Like, Cailin just doesn't even
But I kind of like that, just because I mean, Josephine had some saying it, but I kind of like that, like, because it seems like most female characters, like, can fight, like, know what they're doing, and it's kind of nice to, like, the philosophy is, like, not all girls can fight.
Right.
Which, like, it's fine if you can't fight.
Right.
So it's nice that Cailin is like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yay. But then River comes in and tries to help out. Does a bang-up job.
Yeah. Yeah, she just comes in and just pulls some kind of something.
Which might be insight into something.
Probably. Oh, yeah.
Probably.
It's definitely indicative.
Because, I mean, she had her eyes closed, and she just went...
Yeah.
And they were dead. And then meanwhile, Mal's fighting off like this one henchman guy who put the thing on him.
Yeah.
And they're like fighting. We get another funny line where I think it was was it Jane? I think it was Jane was about to shoot the guy. And so it's like, no, the captain needs to solve stuff for himself. Or like some stuff you need to do for yourself. Like thinking, oh, like he needs to do this for like, what's the word? Like, not penance, but like revenge kind of thing. And he's like, no, I don't. And she's like, oh, okay. And then,
okay.
And
that was good.
Niska doesn't die, sadly.
Yeah.
And the councilwoman who Inara was with, they were trying to get her to help out with like the fighting thing, which didn't end up working.
Right.
But they did get some medical supplies, including something to help fuse the tissue back on Mal's ear.
That was nice.
Which probably would have been good, considering if they didn't do that, then they would need to like do makeup on Nathan Fillion.
For like the rest of the series.
Well, all like 4 episodes.
Well, you know.
Still. And Zoe is making some wife soup, which like I know like in like Our Mrs. Reynolds they were saying that like Zoe doesn't really like cook for her husband and just like that kind of thing like of female empowerment. But like at this point, especially and technically the fight was I'd say like I guess the fight was like both their faults, but he kind of escalated a bit more. Yeah. But like he was tortured.
He was tortured.
I think
he learned to give him something for being tortured.
Honey learned his lesson. Yeah. So he learned his lesson. He gets some soup, and they're all good.
Yeah.
And then Mal brings up the part of basically, he's like, Zoe, so your husband said we have to sleep together. And she's just like, I don't think she seemed that upset. Mm-hmm. Not because of like the fact that your husband like honestly thought that, but like, and he's basically like, no, it was the torture. And I think she's kind of like, you know what? He's been through a lot.
Yeah.
And then, but they kind of like, it's like, they're jokingly doing it.
Yeah.
It's clear that like there is clearly no sexual tension.
Right.
They're just fine. And Jane sees it, he's kind of like, what? Mm-hmm. He's very confused. Mm-hmm. Then meanwhile, they get because like Jane was basically saying every time that he saw Anara and the councilwoman together, he'd be like, I'll be in my bunk doing some stuff.
I have some business to take care of.
Yeah, and then but then Wash just grabs Zoe and he's like, we'll be in our bunk, and then slaps on the ass and then go away. The end. So I really like the slap of the ass. I just think between like a couple, I think it's cute.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's
like a little like
Yeah.
It's cute, and so that's the end of War Stories. Probably one of the best episodes.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I think it's hard for me to. I'm trying to think what makes it a good episode. Because I'm trying to think like what it does differently from other episodes. I think I just really enjoy Zoe and Wash as characters. Mm-hmm. So like just getting an episode with them, I just think was really great. And I think it just shows how like strong of characters they are.
I was thinking like my idea that like, because this episode technically does, like I said, it has like a lot of stuff that like a typical episode that was written by Joss Whedon would have, even though it wasn't written by him. Mm-hmm. It's like basically you got like stuff you got to really think about. You've got like philosophy, you've got comedy, you got action, you got drama, and like the way that it works, like it's all really balanced out. Mm-hmm. And there was some callbacks, and I mean, it's just like a really nice and fun episode.
Yeah,
and I think this is like probably one of the best. I'd say I don't remember like the last like few episodes, but I'd probably say it's the best, like considering like the way like it balances everything.
Right.
It's just done super well.
But there is some stuff that I feel like could have been done to make things stronger. Like I feel because they bring up, it's called War Stories, and I get like how that makes sense with the episode. But they do have like one like war story at the beginning that Zoe tells, and I feel like it needed like to make that like a theme of it, like you kind of need it more slightly more information about like the war in the past.
I think that the idea is that it's not about like those war stories. Right, I think it's like they tell a war story, but like if you think about like the point of view like our main character, and the one who probably progresses the most is Wash.
Right. And I understand that part. Like I understand why it's called that, like War Stories because of that, because it's kind of Wash looking for like his own,
and he gets his own war story.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I felt like if that was like a theme, I feel like it might have been a theme of the episode early on, but it kind of didn't really like follow through with that idea of a theme. What was another thing? There was like two different themes. Oh, also with the same could be said with like the philosophy aspect.
Oh, the Shan Yu.
The Shan Yu, yeah, that was brought up like twice, but it wasn't really like pulled back together at the end to make it like a real like actual theme or like.
Well, I think it's like the big thing with that. It was like that was about Niska, mainly, and I think like obviously and I guess like with Mal, like they want to see like basically you want to see the real person, and maybe like the real person with Wash, like maybe. I guess I really thought about this. It's not like it's maybe it wasn't like seeing them as like the real them, but or maybe like slightly, but like the person that they could be.
Okay,
like Wash became like this badass,
right?
Like he could be,
yeah.
And like Mal just like became like super brutal, like he can be,
right? Okay.
And then with the war story thing, I don't like. I think like because like if it was, I think like if it was about like telling war stories, it would have been focused mainly on Mal and Zoe, who have been in war, but it's focused on Wash,
right?
So it's just about him getting his war story,
right? Okay,
you're welcome.
Yeah. No, but
I thought about this a lot.
Yeah. No, it's a good episode, like I said, but I just felt like there were some maybe like themes that they were thinking of going for like early on in the script, and then they went away from those, but like there were still like parts kind of lingering of what they were maybe thinking of going for, but never really tying it together in the end. But that doesn't necessarily detract from what the episode is. It's just kind of, like I said, they're just kind of like these remnants of what I feel like the episode maybe would have like. I'm
kind of wondering because like that kind of seems like maybe it's kind of like because like you would assume like, oh, this is what I want it to be.
Yeah.
And like I know like you're nitpicking basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely nitpicking.
You're definitely nitpicking, but like it kind of seems like, oh, this is like the thing that I want it to be, but then it just like twists it kind of, which is kind of like what I like in good television. It makes you think differently.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of War Stories, and we'll be right back and talk about trash. And we're back. Cailin's meowing.
My cat is here. Hi.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're talking about Trash, which was the 11th episode. 11 is Trash, and according to this, it is the first of. Basically, it's the first of the episodes that was not broadcast in the original run.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess it just because of cancellation, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we open up on a naked Mal.
Nice.
I forgot about because basically later on you see like a nice shot of his ass, and I thought that was like right then, but I guess I was wrong. Mm-hmm. But he's got like a tattoo, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Wait. Can we look? Wait. Is that a tattoo of the character? Or is that like just Nathan Fillion's
I don't know, but I want to know.
Please look this up.
I'm gonna look this up.
This is very important information.
Okay. But it's a weird place to have a tattoo. You got anything?
Actor Nathan Fillion has a tattoo on his hip, which he got when he was 19 and now regrets, and is based on some Egyptian motif.
That's great. So, but okay.
It's just like some random It's so funny to me. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, anyway, so we open up on that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that went well. And then you open up, they say it's about 3 days later, and Mal's meeting up with a buddy of his, and they're getting some cargo. And basically Monty's kind of like saying like, hey, look, it's something different about me. Turns out he didn't just have the big mustache, the very nice mustache.
Yes.
He had a beard.
He had a soup catcher.
A soup catcher beard. Anyway.
I don't know why that was a great name.
And then he's like, yeah, well, the missus wanted me to, shave it off. And I like pointed out like missus, and you didn't get it.
I didn't get it. I thought I'm not really sure where my brain was going with that, but it wasn't going in that direction.
Anyway, so missus. And then we find out who his missus is. He knows her as Bridget. We know her as Saffron. Mm-hmm. Right. Saffron.
That lady.
I love the way like immediately it's just like fight. And then I do like the fact that like Monty believes Mal because he probably knew him longer.
Yeah.
And then basically Monty just like leaves. Mm-hmm. And he was like really upset about shaving his beard. And I'm like, you can grow that back.
Yeah, it grows back.
It's a beard.
It's probably going to take a while though.
But it gets
takes a while.
But it'll grow back.
Yeah, it will.
And anyway, basically the reason Saffron was with them was because she had a plan to basically like steal a gun, like a very like old, powerful kind of gun. Mm-hmm. It's a laser pistol, basically. It's called the Lassiter.
Oh, the Lassiter. Yeah.
The Lassiter, yeah. And basically, it's brought up mainly by like Inara that Mal hasn't really had a good job lately, and that because of that, she hasn't been able to go to a certain place and like get like money. Yeah. Which like that's a good point.
She needs clients,
but also
she's a working lady.
Yeah. And then I would say also, then why would she choose Serenity if she knew that? But then I'm freaking like probably money.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to me?
Yeah. No, she brings up why. No, Mal brings up why she chose Serenity at a point, but I forgot specifically what he said. But he did address that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then Mal's like, all right, let's go with this plan. Mm-hmm. So the plan is basically she has like all the layouts, and the guy who owns it, Dara and Cailin. Mm-hmm. She has like a schedule. So she figures they can get in, like really quickly, and then the problem is that she needs a crew because the problem is getting out because the gun is basically like wired with and like not tampered, but like if it like moves, then like somebody's gonna know.
Right.
So she needs a way to get it out, and I think basically, I don't know if we bring up I guess we can bring up this twist, but basically the crew was like double crossing her for the most part. Saffron,
oh yeah, nobody trusted her,
which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, nobody trusted her.
I think the thing was like, okay, I think Mal's like, okay, we're gonna like listen to her plan, but here's like the plan we're actually gonna do.
Yeah.
And because I can tell that like they have the idea of why the episode's called Trash is that they want to put the gun into the trash chute.
Yeah.
And it's like this like a drone thing like comes in, grabs it, and it's supposed to go in the incinerator and like incinerator.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
It's supposed to go into incinerator, and then basically it's gonna burn up. But then Kaylee's basically like, well, what if we're gonna reroute it to take it to where we want it to go?
Right.
Which is a good plan.
Yeah.
So anyway, they go on a day when Hamer's having a party, and that kind of thing. And also, Anora's clearly not okay with this plan because like she does not like Saffron.
Right.
And they're doing stuff so that Saffron can clearly see that there's some disputes, quote unquote,
about Trustin.
Yep.
The lady.
Anyway, so then Saffron and Mal go into the area, and they try to get the gun, and he's got like this like nice, like he's got like a bunch of like the pistol like seems really out of place in the room.
It does, like it's a very strange kind of set design, I think.
Well, it's like I think they want to see like, oh, he collects like a bunch of old stuff,
right?
But like most of the old stuff are like stuff that like we would have, like there was a phone booth and a record player and
like stuff that we would recognize, but then again that we wouldn't recognize. So it would make sense to have also mixed in other things that like aren't recognizable.
Yeah. And then meanwhile the crew is basically trying to get onto this like drone thing and like or like the trash thing and like reroute it to get it to work. And during one point Jane gets shocked a bit and knocked out.
Yep.
And Simon says that he will take care of it, which bring up the point later that basically River semi-reveals to Simon that Jane sold them out in Ariel.
Yeah.
Which is a point that we'll bring up later.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then Mal and Saffron get to the gun and they're trying to like get the defenses of it down. But then the guy comes in. Turns out her name turns out that Saffron, though Hamer knows her as Yolanda. They were also married.
Well, who isn't this?
I know.
Woman married too.
Oh, I don't even like anyway. We'll get to this in a bit, but basically, Hamer basically assumes that she was kidnapped, and that I don't know if he knew that right away because, like, apparently, like he saw her with a security guy, and assumed that maybe she was going to run off, but then he was found dead, which Saffron says she didn't kill. I just assumed that she didn't kill him, but anyway, but then he assumes that like Mal probably saved her from whatever, and she's like making up this whole story, and there's like the idea that like she could have just like knocked him out and like didn't. That like there's the idea that like maybe was this like the guy that she actually was in love with, or who knows?
Who knows?
But anyway, so they're just like, okay, let's do this. Meanwhile, after Mal gets the gun, Saffron points a gun at him, but then Hamer comes in and she's like upset that like he knows the stuff about her now. And there's like this whole thing and like. I don't know. How do you feel about Hamer? He seems a bit...
About who?
What's his first name? Dara.
Oh, yeah. He just didn't make an impression on me.
I mean, I think that's the point, because, like, spoiler, we're not going to see him again.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But, like, I think the idea is, like, I thought, like, it's, like, looking at stuff, I thought those days was, like, villainous.
Yeah.
But, like, he wasn't at all, and maybe it's, like, Saffron's lies, but...
Yeah, I don't... It was kind of... It was just,
I mean, he's fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's fine.
I don't think that was really the point.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they get the gun, they put it in the trash chute, and then after some struggle with the drone, they get it. It's all good.
Yeah.
And Mal and Saffron get back on the ship after apparently Duran called the cops on them, and they get out. But they get out, everything's fine until basically Saffron opens up a bit, maybe,
sort of,
kind of,
maybe. Possibly.
I think she did a bit.
Maybe. Like,
about the fact that like they were together for like her and Duran were together for like 6 years.
Right.
And that like she really thought this could work, and then her ways got in the way.
Yeah.
But then she double crosses Mal. Da-na-na-na.
Surprise.
And basically wants to semi-embarrass him. Well, like there's a bit where Mal says, I've seen you with the clothes up, but it's the first time I've seen you naked. And like he doesn't think that she wasn't like playing him.
Right.
Well, like I think he does, but like not.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she plans on just like she takes everything, and then she's like, maybe we should see you naked, and that's why he takes his clothes off, and then we get the ass shot.
Naked. Oh yeah.
And then he calls her a whore, which I'm like, okay. And then Saffron gets to the trash chute, goes through it, and she's all gross and dirty. Turns out, double cross everything. Because it turned out that she had actually rewired the engine a bit so that they wouldn't be able to make it to the rendezvous point. Which, like, at first I was kind of like, I got why she did, like, obviously I got why she did that, but like, there was a bit where like the whole crew was in on it. Yeah. But like, at that point, it didn't seem like it because they were like genuinely shocked that she did that. I guess kind of, but like, I don't know. I can't really remember. Like, did they seem kind of shocked that she like rewrote it? Like, that she made sure that they wouldn't make it. That they made sure she wouldn't make it. I don't know.
I don't really remember.
Anyway, but then Anara's there and she's got the gun. Yeah. And basically, the whole plan was that she knew that they would double. Like, everybody knew that Saffron was going to double cross them. So I think Anara was like mainly or like semi there, just like a failsafe, so that if Saffron did mess up Serenity. Anara could just get there real quick, get the gun. Yeah. And then leave her in the trash chute. And I'm like, hooray. And Mal's still naked. And then he just, Anara's like, and then Anara says, like, does this really work out? And he's like, yeah, we got everything. He's like, you're naked. Yeah. And then everybody else sees it and they're just like, we're all good. A quick with Jane, basically, he like hit his spine when he fell. Yeah. So he's like paralyzed and then. Temporarily paralyzed, and then I think like Simon makes it a bit more. Yeah. And basically saying like, we know what you did. Yeah. And he's kind of like, are you? I think Jane was worried he was gonna get killed. Yeah. But Simon's like basically like, I think he's like learning from Mal, basically saying like, if you're on this table, you're a part of the crew. Right. We're good. But then River's like, by the way, I can kill you with my brain. And I'm like, yay.
Oh gosh, and
everything goes well. Yeah. So this episode was
yeah,
it's all right. I'm with that.
Like, it was fine.
It's fine.
It didn't really, I don't know, it didn't like really draw in my attention as much as other episodes. I think I was just kind of like, yeah.
No, I agree. Like this, like even when I first watched this episode, I'm like, yeah. I mean, there was some nice stuff. I've seen some Nathan Fillion ass and the weird tattoo. Yeah. And it was just a pretty like mediocre. I guess like after like War Stories, they're kind of like, we could probably chill a bit.
Yeah, we can just throw in that random episode that we got.
Yeah, so we got 3 more episodes left.
Cool.
Oh no! All right, so next week we'll be watching The Message and Heart of Gold.
Sweet.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyway, so that's the end of this episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. Links down below for everything. You can reach us by email at woodyclothesproductions.gmail.com, facebook.com/woodyclothes, Twitter at woodyclothes, Patreon, all that shebang. Yeah. I'm Dara Whitman.
And I'm Cailin.
Peace.
See ya.
You can't take the sky from me.